Harsetti is back for Hall of Trials. This boss is going to be set up for Robin this time, and Robin does okay. I got 47 million so far. I do think I could get higher, but I'm not going to push it more because there's better setups that are honestly really hard to run. I don't think the entire top 100 is even going to use that setup, but this is going to be the much comfier version to run, just because there's more outs if you have bad RNG. So let's get into it. First up, I should mention, there's going to be an unequip next week from Wednesday to Saturday as usual, most likely. So I would wait until then to do your run so you can save yourself some gold costs not having to move gear around. For these units here, I think it's actually kind of hard to replace these slots. The combination of needing burns and AoEs is pretty rough. Technically, you could just if you are just looking for top 5%, then you can swap Aramintha, you can swap Carrot for any unit with a strip, and you'll probably be fine. So if you're looking to maximize your damage, it's going to be Aramintha Carrot for these two slots. They have AoEs, they have burns. It's all you really need from these rolls. And then for Roana, I was not going to look at her stats. I was going to say that because we don't have Bloodstone this time, unless you want to put Bloodstone in your Robin or something, then our sustain is going to be a lot worse. In the previous two Harsetti rotations, we had a very fast Ranger with Bloodstone. This time, we don't. So either give Roana a sustain artifact, or just make her really bulky. Or if you want to use like Elena or something, then she would probably need a sustain artifact. But if you go on Roana with an attack boosting artifact, that's going to be more damage than even an SSS Elena with a sustain artifact. So besides Roana, it's really just Elena, I would say, is the other unit of choice here. Now let's actually look at Roana stats. So you just make her really bulky with 100% crit chance. That's all that you really need. And then for artifact, I gave her Warhorn. But if you need sustain, you can go Touch of Rekos or Celestine. Something to help you survive if you are struggling with that. And then, yeah, her stats don't matter. It's just max out her bulk if you can. The speed, you can mess around with. See what works well for your tuning. This is just what I have. Next up is Aramintha. So a big difference from the last time Harsetti was here is that we have Aramintha way slower this time. This is just because the way the fight plays out is completely different once you enter the break phase, which you'll see once we get there. To run her at a lower speed, you can adjust your speeds and see what works for you. We need 100% crit chance, of course, and the rest of your stats can go into attack. For EE, I'm using the S1 burn chance. This is just because, ideally, you wouldn't need to rely on this, but sometimes just bad RNG. I have one spot where I'm just praying that I land a burn. And then for her artifact, I'm using Cruel Mischief on her. You could also give her Frantic Flight. It's up to you which one you want on Aramintha and which one you want on Carrot. So next up, let's take a look at Carrot. I've got her pretty much the same as Aramintha. It's just lower speed with 100% crit chance than a bunch of attack. And then I've given her Frantic Flight because I chose to give Aramintha the Cruel Mischief instead. And same thing as Aramintha pretty much. You can adjust her speed, of course, to see what speeds work well for you. Lastly is Robin, who I just have maxed out on attack, pretty much. And I gave her Dux Noctis. This is just because Dux Noctis, it only stacks 36%, but really, I kind of don't even apply Robin burns in this fight, if I can help it. So I wanted Cruel Mischief on somebody, not Robin, since Dux Noctis gets close enough, even if you are using her burns. It's close enough, so this is good enough. And then make her pretty slow. She doesn't need to be base speed. A little bit of speed is okay. You'll see once we actually get into the fight, but the way this fight plays out is really different. It's just whatever works for you, pretty much, but this is what I'm using. She is the one unit that does not need 100% crit chance here. Everybody else does. Of course, make sure you have 4 Cov heroes, and your Ranger Robin is in the back, and we can get into the run. So starting off the fight, it doesn't actually matter what we do. You can just turn on auto, make sure everyone's skills except for Roana's are off. Roana, we need the sustain. Like I mentioned, the sustain is really rough when we have no sustain artifacts. So we're gonna need Roana S3 for the healing. Of course, if you are struggling to survive, especially in Phase 3, then go ahead and use a sustain artifact. Besides that, this fight is gonna play out pretty differently each time, just because of speed RNG, honestly. The tunings, especially because we have all of our units pretty slow, are going to get RNG'd here and there. Now we're in the barrier phase. You need 2 strips to dispel the Sovereign's mana. The first one is Aramintha S2, the second one is Carrot S3, and then we need burn damage in order to remove the barrier itself, which is Carrot S3 applies 2 burns, which you can detonate with Robin S3, or you could just use Robin S2 and S3 to detonate her own burns. Either one works really. Here, Robin goes before Harsetti does, so we'll just S3 and get rid of all the burns. Now we're in the break phase. Every 3 times you hit this lamp, it'll go into stealth, plus you get a bunch of CR for hitting it. And we'll need an AoE to remove it from stealth. Also, worth noting that Carrot, because her S1 detonates burns, it's worth checking and making sure that Carrot is always going to hit into this guy. On this turn, technically it's fine because there's no burns on Harsetti, but the CR push is useful. Now we can break it out of stealth with Aramintha S3, which also applies 2 burns onto Harsetti. The little number above Robin, every time we crit, you'll get, the number will go up. Here it goes up to 5, and we want that to hit 10. I skipped Roana S3 there, just so I can put it into stealth, so that Carrot S3 can break it out. And now I am forced to use Roana S3, I need to sustain. So if I hit Harsetti here with Aramintha, we have a couple of hits to use, but hitting Harsetti wouldn't give me a CR push. I used one of my free hits here on Harsetti just to skip the hit, because now Aramintha is 2, Carrot is 3, and now we can break it out with an AoE. If I hit the lamp with Robin there, then Carrot or Aramintha would have had to hit Harsetti, and if Carrot hits Harsetti, then that's dangerous. So we have Robin S2, but we're not going to use it because we can do better than that. Carrot S3 is going to give us 2 2-turn burns, and then Aramintha S3 is going to give us 2 2-turn burns as well, which is going to put us right up at the debuff cap. Robin S2 gives us 3 burns, but they're all 1 turn, so the damage is going to be less than a 2-turn burn. The only time you would really use Robin S2 in the break phase is if your tuning just doesn't work and you're forced to use Robin S2, either to break the stealth or just because you are forced to end the break phase and you don't have 8 burns yet, which sometimes it'll happen, but here we'll just S3 and that's the break phase. And you do want to check that lamp eventually, just because that lamp remembers how many hits it has for its stealth counter. But if you're not sure whether or not you'll get Harsetti down to 60% in time, then you can just save it for the very end. You could auto this part, honestly. I didn't. And then, besides that, we're taking a bit more damage now because Harsetti's attack is ramping. Plus she is slightly faster, so just make sure you're aware of those things. Roana's HP is slowly going down, and she is not the greatest sustainer, so... And she's at 60, so we'll check the lamp real quick, and it happened to be at 2 already, so now it's back in stealth. So now we've got the Carrot S3 plus Aramintha S2 to remove the Sovereign's mana. Plus, if you look at Robin's positioning, she is a little bit far back. The Harsetti is going to cut Robin here, which cleanses all of the burns. So we're going to have to just S2 to apply Robin's burns. So the Stigma cuts our CR push a bit. Instead of getting 100%, we're only going to get 75. In that case, you can either detonate with Carrot S1 if it lines up, no reason not to, really. Or you can detonate with Carrot or Aramintha. Sorry, Robin S3. Aramintha did land the burn there. If you find that you don't have enough attack with just the 4 one-turn burns, then I would Carrot S1 the lamp here and just use Robin S3, because Robin S3 would extend the burn turns. So this break phase, will play it out about the same as before. It's just different entry points, so it's going to look really different. You hit the lamp as much as you can. Once Harsetti has burns on her, don't hit Harsetti with Carrot S1, and then we're going to try and line up 8 2-turn burns if possible and extend them all with Robin S3. No spoiler, it doesn't happen in this phase just because of various things. Like I mentioned, it plays out pretty differently each time for me, so you have to kind of think about it. And this phase, I guess, is going to show more so just how you play it when it's not really lining up properly. That lamp is at 3 now, and we can reveal it with Aramintha S3. We have to count our 3 hits. This is 1. We're gonna Roana S3 here, so it's still at 1. And you always want to keep in mind what your next AoE is going to be. We have Carrot here. This is 2. But Aramintha got cut by Carrot, which is kind of awkward. I was hoping that wouldn't happen. If Aramintha went, Aramintha S1 would have been the 3rd hit, and it would have went to stealth, and then Carrot S3 could have brought it out. But now I'm going to have to hit Harsetti with Aramintha, and then we'll S3 with Carrot to break it out of stealth instead. So that is one point that was a little bit awkward. That's one of our leeway hits gone. Also, that Aramintha S1 burn onto Harsetti was without attack buff, so we lose a little bit of damage there. Now the other problem is that lamp is at 2. The lamp is at 2, and there's no AoE to go in time. If that lamp was stealthed when Aramintha took her turn, we could have AoE'd there, but we have to hit Harsetti twice, just so we can do that. And now I still don't have an AoE except for Robin S2. So we'll use Robin S2, at least it's some burns. And I'll just S1 the lamp, because we can still apply one more burn at least. That is a pretty big damage loss, because we lost 3 turns of burns, essentially, if we're just counting it as like a total sum. And yeah, that'll just happen sometimes if your tuning isn't lining up super nicely, but you can see that, like, it's at least easy to play around, even if you're taking a damage loss. We can apply our final burn here with Carrot. And we can S2 with Robin to get our second break phase exit. Not as much damage as the first break phase, of course, but still a decent amount. For this third phase, Harsetti's really doing a lot of damage at this point. You can see Roana, even coming out of the second phase, didn't even manage to exit it full HP. Her HP is going down, and she is going to die by the end of this phase. But that's fine, as long as you enter the break phase without any issues, it doesn't really matter if Roana dies. But the Stain Artifact, of course, would solve these problems. But for now, we will just live with Roana not living. Because really it doesn't matter, she's just kind of a body in the break phase, doesn't do anything. That lamp is of course still at 2, so we're gonna have to hit it eventually, just to get it back into stealth. And here, this is going to get Harsetti to 60%, so we can just hit the lamp with Roana or Robin, and it'll be fine. Yep, now it's back in stealth. And we are re-entering the barrier phase. Similar to phase 2, Robin's gonna get cut by Harsetti, so we're not gonna be able to detonate these burns, so we'll have to use Robin's burns instead. And also because we have the stigma, we're not really gonna get pushed up the full 100%. Goodbye, Roana. The nice thing is, even in phase 3, just those 4 one-turn burns is enough to break the barrier. Now you're still playing it, just keep in mind the stigma halves your CR push. Keep track of all your AoEs as well. Carrot is 1 turn away from hers. I'm gonna hit Harsetti here because I have attack buff anyways. So we can hit this with Carrot for 2. And then I can just use Aramintha S3 because Carrot has her S3 as the other AoE. Robin can hit the lamp. Gonna put in stealth. Then Carrot S3 will break it out. And then here is a part worth paying attention to, because we have to remember that Carrot gets extra CR push on her S1 just as a part of her kit. So we can't hit the lamp here with Aramintha. If we hit the lamp, Carrot is just gonna push past it. Or push past Aramintha. So we're gonna... That's why I hit Harsetti with Aramintha, just to move her back a little bit. Carrot moves twice instead. And then we can just S2 to break the lamp out of stealth. But Carrot has her S3 anyways, so I fished for the burn on S1 instead, which we still didn't get. A little bit unfortunate there. Here, I opted to just hit the lamp after debating, because we are going to be able to get that last hit in for the final burn with a 2-turn burn with Aramintha S3, so no reason to use Robin's lesser 1-turn burn, though no attack buff, so a slight damage loss there. And we can just Robin S3 to detonate them all, and that'll be the end of the fight. Anyways, that is it for this run. The better team that I mentioned is honestly going to take me days to figure out, so eventually I will have that done. I think I could brute force a run with various RNG methods, but I'm trying to not rely on RNG as much as possible, even though speed RNG still exists. So eventually that will be done, but for now, this is the team. Again, I don't think that 100 people are going to be doing the better method, just because it's really, really annoying to do. Even after everybody copies my stats, I don't think it'll be fun. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys next time.